3, 2, 1. And a fucking new year we go!
Wait, I'm not ready.
Oh, what? Oh, fuck.
I'm kidding.
Get your hand off it then. God.
No, I'm sorry. Jeez, let me just get a tissue.
Fuck. Jesus Christ. Welcome back, Funny Bunny.
Yep, it's good to be back.
Vesp may jump in later if he decides to grace us with his glorious presence. So, yes, we're back from our break. Sorry it took a week longer than usual. I've had a fire scare recently, so we've had to sort of be careful. I probably I should have gotten some links ready, but what I'll do is next podcast. What I'll do is I'll get some links ready for donations to rural fire services and stuff like that for people to donate to them. Because all the work they've been doing lately has been absolutely just amazing, and they deserve any financial support. So yeah, so I had a fire scare recently, so I've sort of been like, I think I might pull it off for another week.
I've got to sneak away just for like a brief minute. I'll be back in a second.
Oh, you're right. Now, we've had a bit of a fire scare, so I had to work on that. So I had to worry about that and sort of keep an eye on everything, make sure everything was sort of in the green really, and in good books, so we didn't have any problems really. When it comes to what I've been doing for the last couple of weeks, Christmas was great. I had to have it kind of small, even with my own family. As well as to New Year's was pretty good. I got myself blind drunk and had a great fucking old time. I ended up watching the Witcher TV series, which was surprisingly not that bad. I surprisingly enjoyed it quite a fucking lot. One of those TV shows at the moment that has been surprisingly very well done, and Henry Cavill just knocks it out of the fucking park. He does such a brilliant job with that role. It's amazing what he's done so far. So while we're waiting for Funny Bunny to come back after his quick masturbation session, I'll go into some of the other things that are sort of going on down here at the moment. Sort of just show awareness to some people that don't know. With people that don't know about the Australian bushfires, they're pretty bad down here. As I said just earlier, one of the main reasons why I had to push off the podcast for another week was for the simple fact that we had a pretty big fire scare to the point where we might have had to have been evacuated, depending on where the fire went, what I was going to do, whether flying embers were going to set off a light to a lot of the bushland across from. So at that point in time, we had to sort of prepare ourselves last Saturday for anything major that was going to happen. Luckily, we didn't come anywhere near us, thank God. But for the most part, I do want to thank in this podcast the firefighters that haven't gone home, haven't had and just have not had a day off because they've been just fighting these fires for us, and I want to thank them much for their service and thank them for their hard work. That they are the heroes right now, doing work that none of us would do. So thank you for that. But when it comes to moving on from that and going to gaming news, there hasn't really been a lot this week that is sort of these last 2 weeks that have come out. Surprisingly, it's been a bit of a mixed bag when it comes to news this week. And again, I'll wait. What I'll do is I'll start off with the first, but sad article of the week is that professional gamer Maria Ramilia Craving dies at 24.
I'm back.
Yeah, we just pulled up Ramilia passing away in the last 2 weeks.
Oh, okay. We're not going to talk about our New Year's.
Oh, well, if you'd like to bring up New Year's, sure.
Well, how was yours?
Mine was great. I got blind drunk.
Wine drunk?
Blind drunk.
Oh, blind drunk. I was going to say wine drunk.
I don't fucking drink wine. What do you think I am?
Okay.
Hey now.
We're not going to have another one of those incidents about the sparkling wine.
No.
None of those. None of that.
No, you had a good Christmas too?
Yeah, I got also pretty drunk.
I couldn't get drunk because I had to drive.
Oh, okay. Well, I got
and had
relatively. I got relatively smashed for about an hour and a half, and then it wore off. I also got assaulted by a crazed, drugged-up man in a park. That was fun.
You go to some weird places.
No, I was just trying to walk to another friend's party, from one party to another, and some man on MD came running at me out of the shadows. He was like hiding in a bush or something.
Came up to with MD, was he screaming about interdimensional aliens and the frogs? I
don't know. He was
water turning into frogs, gay.
No, he was just screaming, "Come on, then, cunt!" And I fucking he was just like, He's like, "You want to fight?" And I was just like, "Not really." And then he's like, "We're gonna fight," and I'm just like, "If you say so." And then I folded him, and then he threatened to call the cops on me, so I ran away.
Yeah, that happens. That happens a lot.
For the record, he started it. He was on drugs. I was fine, and I didn't hit him as hard as I could have. I just kind of pushed him over a sandstone retaining wall and ran away. Oh well, he deserved it though.
Let's go back onto the depressing article.
Pressing swiftly onwards.
Yeah, pressing swiftly onwards to something depressing that I just brought up, and the whole entire time we're talking about New Year's and how great our Christmas was, we're talking about this fucking girl, this faces on her fucking... Oh god, this is horrible. But yes, a former professional League of Legends player and Twitch streamer Remilia died on Friday at the age of 24. According to esports journalist Richard Lewis, her close friend and roommate, with great sadness, I inform you that my best friend, Maria Craving, passed away peacefully in her sleep yesterday. Her absence will leave a void that cannot be filled. She would not wanted any lengthy statements or grand eulogies. Despite having fans all over the world, she was not one who craved the spotlight. Even if you're an esports celebrity, you kind of do crave.
Also, I'm pretty sure you messed up her last name. I'm pretty sure it's Creveling, not Craveling.
Sorry, my bad.
We'll just press swiftly. We'll just move beyond that fact. But
yeah, sorry about that.
That's okay.
My only request is that anyone wanting to pay tribute, reach out to ensure that it is done in a manner that respects her wishes. Remilio became the first woman and first transgender person to qualify for and compete in League of Legends Champion Series in 2015. She left the LCS in 2016, citing harassment and stress. All I'll say is the 4 months I knew her were the best of both of our lives, and although she deserves so much more, it was a privilege to know her for a short time I did. That was what her boyfriend said. Do you know what she died of? Because none of the articles I saw, I found I couldn't find out how she passed.
Good question. It says she passed away in her sleep. So, just says suddenly.
Yeah, I was just asking because I wasn't sure whether it could have been like she kind of had a health, which is still sad. Regardless, you never want to see this sort of. You never like seeing this sort of stuff happen. Yeah. It's quite sad. Yeah. It's quite of a grim sort of start to the new year for us, but it's something that we'll move on to. She will always be remembered by her fans, obviously. And I think if you respect her wish, respect her family's wishes and stuff like that, and her wishes and stuff like that, I think it'll be all good. Still a very sad event.
Yeah.
Moving on. Why would you want to point something?
I was going to say there's just really not much to say about it apart from the fact that it is a sad event.
Yeah, that it happened.
And
really,
she was a great advocate for transgender esport players and female esport players amongst I would say amongst a sort of, I don't know what the word is here. A scene that is mostly controlled by men. It is nice to see a female and transgender player in a basically in a place where a lot of
Oh, of
the best
course.
players are males.
In my honest opinion, when it comes
I
to
really can't word that any better.
in my honest opinion, when it comes to that sort of stuff, it's you know, it's just a sad reality that yeah, in a lot of ways, men dominate that sport. It just how things are. But for the most part, if you're really good and you are fucking great at it, like she was, you get to go places, and that's where she did. So
Yeah,
good on her. And it's sad reality she's gone. But
yeah.
moving on, Stalker 2 will be using the Unreal Engine, which is not a fucking surprise, seeing as though nearly every single fucking new video game these days are running on the engine.
It's because it's easy.
Well, yeah, it is. Like a hamster could fucking work it out.
Yeah.
Also have the tweet that they brought up. That was the announcement that they were using it. Stalker 2 is powered by Unreal Engine. Frankly speaking, we wanted to hold this particular announcement for a while, but our colleagues at Epic, I don't know why they're doing this on Epic. Honestly, I don't get it. But anyway,
That reminds me.
Epic accidentally made a New Year's surprise for everyone, including us. GSC Game World team consistently searches for the best technologies to work with, and UE was the Unreal Engine. Sorry, was the most suitable choice for us. It's just the easiest. I'm sorry, it's just what it is, and the cheapest.
Yeah. Yeah, well, that's obviously the major thing. I think using the Unreal Engine is obviously quite the cost cutter.
Yeah,
So
and it is still a decent engine. Don't get me wrong.
Yeah, it's not just horrible.
But it's not up to the standards of something like the Snowdrop engine. Even though that's through Ubisoft, I know. But at least they like you look at like the Division, for instance. Like as much
the
as
Crisis engine.
well, yeah, hell, even
it's not a.
The
Crisis engine's not bad, but it's just it could be better.
Yeah. Yeah, and they still use that engine for Hunt too.
Yeah, I was gonna say Hunt Showdown runs off the Crisis engine, and I would say on release it was pretty sloppy, but they've really
turned the game around.
Yeah, they've really upped the performance on Hunt, and I think I haven't played Hunt recently, but it looks really good. It's pretty fun.
Yeah. It gives you opportunity to make the game you want or you wait for with the atmosphere of tension and mystery, the flesh and blood of Stalker universe. Additionally, Unreal Engine harmonizes well with our goal to make modding more easy and accessible. User modifications help the world of the zone to live on while we are busy with making a sequel, and we can't be more grateful for that. Excuse me. Yes, we know what you are thinking about, but his announcement was nothing to do with platforms or digital stores. We will talk about this later. One other question I was going to ask is this going to be a PC exclusive like the original game, or is it going to be more widely accessible on console as well?
I think they'll probably just keep it on PC.
Probably. Seeing as
I feel like
easier.
I feel like they're probably not going to be fucked putting on the console. Because let's be real, these sorts of games, like the Stalker series, are probably not exactly console friendly.
No.
So to speak. Like the age demographic of console players and like what games appeal to someone on console probably don't appeal to someone on PC, like this sort of game.
Probably not.
I'm pretty sure. Like, I don't think many console players are huge fans of the horror survival game modes. Like, you'll obviously have the occasional player that's older and does like them. Like, people still play Outlast on consoles, but for the most part, typically it's kids or people that work 9-to-5 jobs that have consoles and don't have time for games. Probably won't want to play a game like Stalker, because it's not exactly a kid-friendly or 9-to-5 friendly game. You have to be quite into it in order to play it well, or you're going to get steamrolled by everything.
No, I think what a lot of people would describe Stalk would be is more of a realistic take on like the Fallout like universe sort of thing,
Yeah.
like and also
like you can't absorb 400 bullets and then just have some medicine and be fine.
Yeah, well, oh, it could be like Tarkov, where you sit there and like you go in with the fucking best of best gear and you walk in and you still get one tapped. It's like, oh,
Yep.
okay then. And then you see someone else with the fucking best of best gear, you one tap them and it's like, did that tickle? While they're fucking railing fucking their whole entire 60 round magazine into your face.
Yeah, it's great.
It's like, oh, okay, righto, that makes sense. But it's good to see that that game's also taken off too. Now,
Tarkov.
yeah, it's actually really taken off. Moment, like, it's gone from, what was it, 40,000 viewers to now 1.5 million people watching on Twitch.
Jeez.
It's crazy. Like, Tarkov has just done a massive fucking leap. Like, Pestily has just, his career's just gone through the roof.
You play Tarkov, don't you, Aaron?
I do play Tarkov. Not a lot lately, but I've been wanting to play some more soon.
I wish I owned Tarkov.
So either today or the next couple of days. Tarkov is actually surprisingly not a bad game. But back to Stalker. Going on a tangent.
Mm-hmm.
But Stalker 2, like I don't know. I haven't played the first one. I do own it. But it's something that I'll have to eventually come around to playing because it's probably one of those games that I know I will definitely enjoy. I just haven't just sort of made the time to play it yet. Moving on to Cyberpunk 2077 news. They released the figurine for Keanu Reeves' character, what's his name? Johnny Silverhand. Pretty much just a figure of him holding the his guitar, and obviously you can change what he's holding and what he's doing and stuff like that. And they also showed off the male model of character, that what he'll look like for the statue. I'm surprised they didn't do a female model version.
I think it's because I thought you could only play as a male in 2077.
No, you can play a female too.
Oh, okay. I thought there was only one protagonist and it was only a male.
No, it's female. It's you pick your like male or female.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Why does he have a pink katana?
I don't know. I haven't actually seen
It's
a lot.
missing texture.
The reason why I haven't seen a lot of Cyberpunk and dived right into everything with Cyberpunk is because I don't want anything spoiled. It's something I want to sort of go into fresh.
Yeah.
So
the thing with Cyberpunk for me is I really, really want to play it, but I'm pretty sure my CPU can't handle it, and my graphics card could barely run it.
Oh, I know my PC would run. No problem.
Mine will not. My CPU will bottleneck it.
Yeah, well, I've got a i7 700K.
Sorry, my CPU. Yeah.
I've got an i7 700K and a GTX 1080. So it'll run Cyberpunk. Like, I probably won't be able to play it on ultra graphics, but I'll be able to play it at least.
Yeah, apparently a 1080 is the minimum requirement.
I actually looked that up. It's not.
No, okay. I was gonna say because I've got a 2060.
It's only
but my
only what they've put on now.
Yeah, because I've got a 2060 Super, but my processors will not handle it. They're i5's 7700K as well, I think. I'm not too sure. I don't remember, but they're not good enough.
Yeah. So the good thing is I don't have to upgrade my CPU.
I do, and I just stuck a fan on it, so it's going to be a pain in the ass when I have to.
But the figures look alright. I don't mind them.
Yeah, they look pretty cool.
Yeah.
At Walmart, ooh.
We don't have Walmart. We'll probably get them at. We'll probably be able to get them at EB Games or JBL or something like that.
Probably.
Or Pop Culture.
Yeah. Which is part of the EB Games brand, anyway.
Sorry if I'm coughing more often too. It's because the smoke in the air from the fucking fires, as well as me being a smoker. Me smoking doesn't help.
Just double the smoke is not good.
No.
Well.
Moving on to IGN being absolute fucking dumbasses and absolute champions like they usually are. This is our probably big discussion for the week.
You reckon it's time for Muggle of the Week then?
It's not that bad.
It's not that worthy. Alright.
It's people that are Muggles of the Week are usually do something extremely stupid.
Fuck up.
Yeah, like a colossal fuck up.
So we have no Muggle of the Week this time.
Not really. But this will probably be close with just this article alone because it's just stupid. 10 video game tropes that video games to leave in the last decade. Seriously, enough already. Now this is just fucking stupid. Alright, let's move on to their first one. Audio logs, emails, memos, notes, and diaries for quote-unquote world building. How the fuck is this a problem?
This isn't a problem if it doesn't affect the main game.
No.
The only reason these are in the game is for achievement hunters or lore hunters.
Yeah. Exactly.
Like, if you don't like it, just don't fucking do it.
Yeah.
As simple as that. I just, like, if someone's like, oh, can you collect these 50 audio logs? I'm just like, fuck no, I'm not doing that.
Yeah. Like,
and I just ignore it. Like, it doesn't do anything. Like, a prime example of this is, like, the Borderlands series, where you have to pick up echo logs to discover lore.
Yeah.
Those missions that require you to pick up echo logs, they give you, like, 1 XP.
Yeah.
They're fucking worthless.
Yeah, it's not worth it. Again, they're only for, as you said, for world building, like, and just for lore purposes. Unless you're a diehard fan of the game, and unless you or the franchise, or unless, again, you are a person that does a lot of lore building and stuff like that, and makes videos and content and shit like that, it's worth doing it, right? Because you get to learn more about the video game and shit like that, and especially people that actually love that type of, and that love that video game, or love that world, or love that franchise, or whatever like that, they will go out of their way to look for these things. It is a great tool to, like, tell external storylines, or just to build on the world. How is this fucking stupid? Like, this thing will always be part of storytelling with video games, because it's the best way to do it. Especially in big open world RPGs, big open world games in general, just not even open world RPGs, just RPGs in general.
Like, another thing that, like, people don't realize, like, with the Dark Souls storyline, they leave a lot up in the air, so the lore can be interpreted many different ways, which is why people like it so much, because you can really kind of morph the lore to your own desire.
Yeah.
If they added some sort of, like, item that you could pick up to discover the lore for Dark Souls, I guarantee, as soon as they added that, everyone would, like, the Dark Souls number count would skyrocket, and everyone would be back on Dark Souls trying to find them.
Well, there technically is already.
Yeah, but, like, if they added, like, a much bigger, more definitive one.
I don't think they would, because, again, that's why they do the way they do.
Yeah, they wouldn't, but if they did, people would be back on that game immediately.
Of course. It's one of those things that is very, like, appealing.
Yeah. Because you want the lore.
Yeah.
And the people that don't bother with it. Like, if you just want to play the game, then don't pick up the lore. If you care, that's what it's there for. Like, it's just, otherwise it doesn't appeal to everyone.
Well, that's exactly right.
Otherwise you'll have all these annoying people on Twitter asking about it.
Like, because one of the main ways you can actually find all the lore and stuff like that when it comes to Dark Souls is doing all the side endings and stuff like that, and the side stuff, and picking up specific items that give specific backstories and stuff like that to help with that world building.
But even then, because there's no quest tracker in Dark Souls, people forget to do them, and it leaves a lot of stuff up in the air.
But that's the whole point.
Yeah, like, you have to play through Dark Souls infinite times before you discover everything in Dark Souls.
Well, yeah, that's why they did it, so it brings replayability.
Mm-hmm.
And Dark Souls has a fuck ton of replayability. I don't know about 2. 2's just fucking utter trash.
Yeah, but we won't talk about 2. We'll just talk about 3 and 1.
Yes, please. And Bloodborne. We can't...
Bloodborne is great.
We can't forget about Bloodborne, and we can't forget about Sekiro, even though I haven't played it yet. Yeah.
The spiritual successors of Dark Souls. Although, apparently, I think, Sekiro is meant to be a bit more friendly to compared to Dark Souls.
A little bit, but it's still very hard. A little bit,
but it's still hard. But then, like, with Bloodborne as well, I think Bloodborne's meant to be harder, because if you die, instead of just dropping your souls on the ground, the monster consumes them and becomes harder to kill.
So it doesn't become really harder to kill.
Oh, okay.
Unless it's a boss.
Oh, well, that's fucking fantastic, isn't it? Because I've only played a little bit of Bloodborne, because I don't own it myself. I've played it on my friend's console, and he loves Bloodborne.
Bloodborne is fucking amazing. I want a sequel to that, but I understand why they won't, because technically that entire game is sort of a once-off thing. But I would love them to explore it more, because it was just such an excellent concept and such a brilliant game.
Let's be anything from the company From Software is typically good, though. Let's be real.
9 times out of 10, yes. But yeah, like you look at let's just say the Division for me, right? Back with the first game, I loved the first game so much. I loved the backstory and stuff like that. I actively went out of my way to find everything.
Like all the little mobile phones and all the
and I platinumed the game just because I wanted it, and I wanted to learn everything. I wanted to listen to everything, read everything. I loved it. 2, on the other hand, because I haven't played a lot of it, sadly, it's just more to the fact that I'm just burnt the fuck out. Like, don't get me wrong, I love Division 2. I think Division 2 is fucking brilliant, and it deserves the praise it got. But I
never got to play it.
Oh, you should. It's quite good. Like, a lot of the old guard Division players, technically I am old guard, but not in the way that a lot of the other old guard think and behave.
Yeah,
like how they think and behave kind of really irritate the fuck out of me, because I'm like, this game is a big, massive step in the right direction.
So you're a new age old guard.
No, it was just they brought in changes that I wanted to see. That there is still problems. Don't get me wrong, but but honestly, I think this is the stupid one that IGN thinks that shouldn't be in new age video games. I think we still need the storytelling. 2, walk and talks in video games where your standard mode of travel is a full sprint. That doesn't fucking really happen anymore.
Yeah, well, in the small like subtext below, it mentions like escort missions, and I agree with that. I hate escort missions, but they're still like relevant to the game. But I just hate like escort missions are a pain in the ass because of how they're done. Because yes, the NPC does typically move between your sprinting speed and your walking speed, and they also fucking latch on to anything that's like in a 500-mile radius, and they constantly get in the way and die.
Yeah.
So like it is a pain in the ass. Like with with WoW Classic being re-released, they kept the old style escort missions where the NPC will walk at an incredibly slow pace, will aggro onto anything within a 500-meter radius, get you killed. As soon as you die, it goes all the way back to the start, and you have to do the whole thing again. And it's a fucking pain in the ass, and that's why I just don't do my escort missions. So I don't like escort missions. But then again, WoW Classic is from 2018, I think. Sorry, 2008 or 2006.
Yeah. It's
fucking it's not even from last decade. It's from the decade before.
Yeah, it is.
But escort missions have gotten better over the last decade. They're not as pain in the ass as WoW Classic, but
yeah, no, I completely agree. And the other thing is too, that I still find this a little stupid, is that this doesn't really happen anymore.
Yeah, like you don't see a lot of escort missions.
It happened with Gears of War and stuff like that, which I got, but that was also a gameplay choice too, for a simple reason that usually when they do that, like when the character starts listening on the radio and stuff like that, usually it's like a loading period.
Yeah.
So like when they do that, like they're walking slow and stuff like that, it's giving the game enough time to catch up and load the next.
Yeah.
So that's why sometimes a lot of ways that's why they do that.
Yeah, but with the escort missions as well, like you're because yes, they have obviously cut down on escort missions because again, like games load faster these days anyway. But with escort missions, you don't see many of them in shooter games. It's like survival games, like fighting games. You don't see many. You really only see escort missions in MMOs, like MMORPGs, like World of Warcraft, or like the Elder Scrolls Online. You see escort missions. In Terra, there's escort missions.
Star Trek Online has escort missions.
Yeah, Final Fantasy 14 has escort missions.
You name it.
Yeah, exactly. There's escort missions in like any MMORPG, but you don't see them very commonly in fighting games or survival games. Like you don't see escort missions in like Dying Light, Call of Duty, not anymore at least. There was a few a while ago. But like you don't see them in shooting games or fighting games. Like there's no escort missions in, well, like Tekken would be an obvious thing that there's no fucking escort mission in that. But like there's no escort missions in like fast-paced shooter survival games anymore.
No. and
Like,
it's still...
I haven't played the newest Gears, but does the newest Gears have an escort mission in it?
No.
Exactly.
And usually if they have escort missions, the fucking the person you're escorting usually is armed.
Yeah, they're
And
competent, they're not a fucking wet sponge.
Yeah, and they're not fucking... And they're not fucking... So, and they don't die, really. So, it's usually fine. But, again, I don't know why he brought up escort missions when it comes to this shit. Like, okay, righto. But, moving on from that stupid point as well, detective vision. Why?
So that's like the Eagle Vision in Assassin's Creed.
Yeah,
for
the
example.
Eagle Vision in Assassin's Creed, or the detective vision in The Witcher 3, or in The Witcher 2,
Yeah.
or...
The Witcher senses.
The Witcher senses, or Batman's detective vision, stuff like that.
Mm.
I don't see a problem with that.
Yeah.
The gameplay feature that works.
It's a mechanic, and it's a required mechanic, because otherwise, like, if you take it away, the game becomes too difficult. But if you just make it, like, constant, then the game becomes too easy.
Yeah.
Like, if you
Or
constantly
just frustrating.
if you constantly saw everything through walls, like if you have Eagle Vision constantly in Assassin's Creed, that would get incredibly annoying. Because you would just constantly see shit through walls, and it just takes away all the fun.
Yeah.
Whereas, like, but you need the ability. Like, some games, because they're not futuristic, like futuristic games, like games like, I don't know, like a space age game like Destiny or something, would be able to, like, oh, just you use this character, like you can have this thing, so it can track locate, like you attach something like a tracker, like you can shoot a tracker at this guy, and the tracker will make it so you can see things through walls. Assassin's Creed obviously won't have a tracker gun, so you can't do that, but that's why they have to have a mechanic like Eagle Vision, so you can still track people through walls, but not so the fact that you have like a futuristic pistol that tracks people through walls. Like GTFO has that bio tracker.
Yeah.
If you didn't have a bio tracker in GTFO, you'd be completely and utterly fucked.
Yeah.
Like, that bio tracker is in every single comp, you always carry a bio tracker. Some people even carry 2 bio trackers. Like, you always need those sorts of mechanics, but you can't exactly put a mechanic like that into your game without compromising the historical value. Like, you can't have a bio tracker in Assassin's Creed. That's why they removed the crossbow from the first game, because it was historically inaccurate.
Yeah.
Well, yeah, so you can't do sort of shit like that. You need those mechanics for the game to work. Otherwise, the game doesn't work.
Then again, as well, you look at something... Well, you can't really say that, because you look at the fucking later Assassin's Creed games.
Yeah, like the flaming unicorn cosmetics are a bit fucked, but they're still not gonna... I don't think they're gonna compromise and put like a futuristic bio-tracking laser rifle in the game.
The next one, lockpicking, cooking, hacking, and menial minigames.
I completely disagree with this one. I fucking love all of those things.
I love all these things too, and so does 90% of everyone else that fucking plays video games.
Mm-hmm.
This doesn't make any sense.
I love the lockpicking mechanics in games. It's so much... It feels so much... It's like, some of them are a bit boring, but it's like, it's still fun just to pick a lock in a game.
Yeah.
It makes you feel really sneaky.
It does. And as well as too, and it makes you feel more immersed.
Yeah, like it makes you feel cool, because you've just fucking... Like, in ESO, if I find any box that is lockpickable, well, like, I can pick it with a lockpick it, sorry, I will do it. I don't care where or who sees me. I will pick that fucking lock. Like, I will... Well, then again, I steal... Like, in ESO, I steal literally everything that is not nailed to the floor.
I do that.
And
I do that with fucking... not Dragon Age. Divinity.
Yeah, like, I will steal anything and everything that is not nailed to the ground.
Yeah, except with Divinity, you have to be sneaky about it.
Yeah, you have to be sneaky about it in ESO, otherwise you rack up like a 900 gold bounty and it doesn't go away for 24 hours. Real, like, in-game. So it's like... yes, but like I am sneaky when it comes to stealing and hacking and that. But like even in ESO, there's cooking in ESO, there's lockpicking in ESO, and there's mini games in ESO. There's not hacking in ESO for the simple premise that it's a fantasy game. There's nothing to hack, but
Yeah.
there are all those sorts of things in ESO.
The one thing that irritates me is like sometimes like you look at something like Legend of Zelda, really need to cook.
Yeah.
Right.
Mhm.
It makes you explore the game a bit more to find ingredients. It makes you do things like it makes you work a bit more and actually extend your time playing the game a bit more. Not in a bad way, by any stretch, but it does help in a lot of ways having these other little features.
Mhm.
It works. The next thing is mandatory mid-game tutorials. Do we ever fucking see that anymore?
I mean, they're talking about the last decade. That talks all the way back to 2010.
Yeah, but there hasn't been. Like, the only time I've ever seen a mid-game tutorial was, I think, in some of the Saints Row's games, and that was it.
But even with those mid-game tutorials, a lot of them are skippable. Like, what game is it? I was playing a game recently that it keeps giving you tutorials, but you can just go, yes, I want to skip this tutorial, and it just disappears. You don't...
Yeah.
Like, the tutorials appear as an optional thing. Like, if you don't understand how to use one of the... Like, because you don't unlock... Like, some games, you don't unlock all the mechanics at the start of the game.
Yeah.
So, like, you don't... Like, if you don't unlock all the mechanics at the start of the game, you might need a tutorial midway through so you understand the mechanic that just got added. But, like, with that, most of them are skippable if you don't want to do them. Like, I don't remember the game, but I was playing a game where they add a mechanic in halfway through, and it's like, do you want to go do the tutorial to understand this mechanic? I just said no. Like, you don't have to do the mechanics. I don't know. I can't remember what game it is, but it always pops up with, like, tutorial things. And
probably again, MMOs. MMOs are really big for it.
I'm just trying to think what fucking game it was. It kept on popping up, and it got annoying, but it was still... I'll remember it eventually.
When it comes to my opinion, I don't ever really see this.
Yeah.
Like if it's something like off to the side and you don't really see it, I don't care. Like, it's just there. Like, I'm not even focused on that. I'm focused on what's going on the screen. Right, and I'm not focused on that little fucking thing in the bottom right-hand corner telling me, oh, press this to fucking do that, or press this to do this. It's like...
And you can disable those anyway. Like,
yeah, you can.
have them in... Like, in CSGO, if you have it enabled, it's like, every time the bomb gets planted, it's like, defuse the bomb! You can just disable that, so it doesn't tell you every time the bomb gets planted.
Yeah.
Because it's like, I'm pretty sure everyone knows how to defuse a bomb. Like, you don't need it on. So it's just like...
How do you defuse a bomb again?
You press a button on your keyboard, depending on what you bound it to.
Let me just put my whole entire hand on my keyboard and slam it.
Yeah, that would work.
But
as long as you don't have the key maximum button.
What was it? The next one. Slow ass hand over hand climbing segments.
First of all, what fucking games have climbing segments?
Quite a lot.
Yeah, well, I don't play any of them.
Quite a lot in the last decade, like Uncharted, Tomb Raider.
Oh yeah, right. I don't play those. I don't play those games.
What they mean by hand over hand is like,
wait,
you look at like
slow climbing.
Yeah, you look at like Modern Warfare 2 when you're soap and you're climbing up with the picks.
Yeah.
Oh, like the person with soap climbing up the picks. Like that. Like you press one button to climb up, the other button to use the other hand, the other button to use the other hand. I don't find a huge problem with that. Again, for me, it makes it feel fucking immersive.
Yeah, but they're also just complaining about how climbing is just slow in some games. Like, some games do have things that, like, workarounds with that. Like, Monster Hunter World, its workaround for slow climbing is you can expend your stamina to sprint up a wall. Like, you can grapple hook up a wall to go faster.
Yeah.
So it's like, but like at the expense of your... Also, they have these things called wedge beetles, which you can shoot with your grappling hook and grapple around with them. So you can skip a lot of the climbing just by grappling around if you're smart and you know where the wedge beetles are. So because of that mechanic, that's really the only game that I can think of that I play that has a climbing mechanic. So I don't really understand the pain of like climbing mechanics.
I don't see the pain at all. Anybody that used like that has these climbing mechanics in the game intentionally bought the game knowing that they were going to have these climbing mechanics in it, and they don't give a shit.
Yeah.
Like, again, Uncharted, right? Uncharted has all these climbing mechanics, and it doesn't make the game bad. It makes it fun. It makes it more immersive. It makes it more interesting. Because, again, it's an adventure game.
Yeah, they talk about Assassin's Creed and how apparently climbing Assassin's Creed is too slow. Like, and quote-unquote realistic. You show me one person that can climb like a person from Assassin's Creed and say that's realistic.
Well, no, there is. People can do it, but again...
It's insane.
Yeah, but again, that's from a lot of training.
It's fun. Yeah, and like Assassin's Creed, it's meant to be a fun climbing parkour game. Like, you play because you want to do that stuff.
That's exactly right.
Like, climbing in Assassin's Creed is not a menial task. It's like 80% of the game. It's fun.
Yeah, it is. And especially when it comes to, again, like as I said, like adventure games like Tomb Raider, Assassin's Creed, Uncharted, fucking games like that, where the whole purpose is to climb and like explore new areas and stuff like that, and it's just fucking awesome. Like there's doing times like, especially with, I think it was Uncharted 2, when you're climbing up a mountain. As soon as you climb up that cliff, you see this big, huge, gorgeous, like old, like Aztec-looking fucking like temple, and you sit there and you're in awe by what it looks like. It's just incredible. And the thing is that, you know, I think this is just stupid. This guy, like, whoever wrote this fucking article needs to be just had to have a bat thrown over his head. But this next one was just, what the fuck?
By Jeremy Azevedo.
Yeah, he needs a bat over his head. This next one, I have no idea what the fuck he's talking about. It doesn't make any sense whatsoever. The end game that kicks your ass in the first 5 minutes, then disappears for 30 hours.
I think it means like the big final boss that appears at the start of the game, and then you have to work back to fighting him. Like with Devil May Cry, the newest one, Devil May Cry 5. I don't remember whichever. The newest Devil May Cry game. You start out like you don't actually get to fight him. It's just a cutscene, but you fight the final boss of the cutscene at the start. Like Dante gets into the fight with this final boss, loses the fight. Nero runs away. Dante's left stuck up at the top of the tree, and then you have to spend the entire game getting back to the top of this like demon tree to fight that monster, and then like whatever his name's, Shadow the Hedgehog, betrays Dante in that, and then Vigil, I don't know fucking what his name is. They come. It's like you get the final boss appears at the start of the game, kicks your ass, and then you kick its ass at the end of it. That's what it means.
But I get how is that a huge issue?
It's not. It's to kind of. It's like those movies that start at the climax and then go back to the start.
Again, this whole entire fucking thing, top 10 list he's done, is just it just makes him seem like he hates video games in general.
Mm-hmm. Probably does.
That's what it seems like. You know, it's stupid how this is, you know, going to be. You know, like, again, it's just it's just like a storytelling method. That's all it is. You know, like, who gives a flying fuck? I guarantee you it's only a small percentage of fucking people, a very small percentage of people that would actually have a problem with that.
Yeah.
Everyone else is like, oh, okay. Like, yes, don't get me wrong. It's like, oh, well, seeing that is a bit of a bummer, and now I would have liked to experience that on my own later on in the game. Some people are like that, but then again as well, for the most part, it's not really like draining your entire experience on a video game. It just isn't.
Mm.
You're still going to enjoy it. Like, if it's a good game, like if it's a good game in general, you're going to end up, you know, playing it anyway.
Mm-hmm.
You're going to end up enjoying it and enjoying your way back to that point. You just are. The next point, he says crafting.
Again, just a mechanic in the game that is required for immersion.
Yeah, especially for specific survival games.
Mm-hmm. Well, he mentions the fact that if crafting, in his message, if crafting is a core part of your game, great. If not, I say drop it. That's what he said. So, like, he's fine with games that are based around crafting, like Minecraft or Terraria. But then he says, like, It's like, he then also just says, but it's simply not for me. Well, then just don't fucking play it. Problem solved. If you don't like crafting in a game that's not crafting based, don't fucking play it.
No.
Easy peasy.
So,
just don't do it.
So the games he'd probably be attacking with games like Last of Us.
Like Last of Us, Dying Light,
which again is still a very core fucking component of the fucking video game.
Yeah.
A very core component.
Like,
because it's an apocalyptic situation where you have to fucking build stuff from what you find.
Yeah.
Right? Even if it's a very straightforward linear storyline, right? It's still a core part of the storytelling. And core part of the immersion.
Or Stalker as well. Stalker has crafting.
Yeah, well, Stalker has crafting too, yeah. Going back to our little tidbit from earlier, Stalker. But, yeah, it's stupid. And people love fucking crafting. They just do.
Yeah, like, it's fun. It might be tedious at times, but it's still an incredibly important mechanic in a game. And if it has crafting, it's there for a reason.
Yeah.
Crafting isn't there just to piss you off. It's there for a very legitimate reason. You need crafting in order to survive.
Or having crafting in a video game that actually makes sense.
Yeah.
Again, like The Last of Us, or games like The Last of Us, or Dying Light. I did just think of one just then, and I forgot. Days Gone.
Yeah.
Yeah, again, like apocalyptic situations which require you to craft. Fallout. Again, that sort of stuff.
You don't need to craft, but it helps. It helps a lot. Like, you could probably complete the entire game without crafting, but it definitely helps crafting. Crafting is a mechanic that makes the game easier.
Easier, well, not really, it wouldn't necessarily easy.
Well, it helps. Like, you can make like a Molotov to clear a wave of enemies that you don't want to deal with.
Yeah, that's right. And as well as too, you've also got on top of that, you've got what do you call it? But again, like story building, world immersion, and stuff like that. That helps with that.
Yeah.
So it's stupid, fucking stupid. Again, and it's another mechanic that will definitely probably still be with gaming till the day we die.
Yeah, like you can't get rid of crafting in a game.
No.
Even if it's not a crafting, even if it's not a game based entirely around crafting, you're still gonna need crafting.
In some ways, yes.
Yeah, like crafting will be in everything forever.
Like, I'm not saying put fucking crafting in like Call of Duty or Battlefield, but games that need it. Or require it, or make the world building or the immersion feel a little more realistic.
Like, even MMOs have crafting in them, because, like, World of Warcraft has blacksmithing, herbal, like, you can make potions, craft weapons, armor, things like that. Not necessarily the most important stuff, because you don't typically need crafted goods, because crafted goods are only really average, like, mediocre gear. Like, it's not fantastic, but it's there as a mechanic in the game to immerse yourself.
Yeah.
Like, it makes you feel it makes you feel more immersed in the game if you can, like, craft your own armor.
Yeah.
Even if it's shit armor, it makes you feel like you're more into the game.
That's it.
Like, I love the crafting. Like, I don't necessarily love it, but I like crafting in Warcraft or World of Warcraft. It's not horrible.
Yeah.
And, like, if it was horrible, I wouldn't do it, but I do it because again, easy. It makes for ease of access in the game. Like, you can craft stuff and sell it for money, which makes the game relatively easier. Because if you have money, makes things easier in games like that, essentially. Because if you want to do something, you can just pay to get it done or something, essentially.
Yeah.
Things like that. So, like, crafting is important in certain games, and, like, even if it's not important, it just makes you feel more immersed.
It does. The next one, I only kind of agree with.
Yeah, me too.
Unskippable dialogue, or dialogue that can be that can skip, but you have to use the interaction button, so you immediately respond with the first dialogue option instead of the one you want.
First off, if your game, first off, if your game has you have to use the interaction button, so you immediately respond with the first dialogue option, that's just shitty coding, for starters. Or just, second of all, just rebind. I was gonna say, surely you can probably just, actually no, you wouldn't be able to rebind the skip button if it's your interaction button.
Well, no,
but the thing is, though,
when it comes to, the only reason why you'd have dialogue, like, options a game is usually for RPGs or
And
stuff
like
like
story,
that.
like make your own story games.
Yeah, that's exactly right. And you need to listen to the dialogue before you make a fucking decision. Because otherwise you're making a decision that you have no fucking idea what you're doing about.
Mm-hmm.
None. But when it comes to unskippable dialogue, it's not really a thing anymore. You can skip cutscenes now. You can skip fucking dialogue and shit like that. In most
One
video
game that
games.
doesn't let you, or it does let you, but only after the first. Like you have to watch it once, and then it'll let you skip it. GTA 5.
Well, it's the same as a lot of games.
Yeah, like you have to watch this cutscene the first time around, but if you want to watch the cutscene again, you can skip it.
Same as like Diablo. Diablo
Yeah.
is the same. Like you when you have your first playthrough of the game, you have to watch the cutscene at least once, and then you can skip it. I don't mind that. Because these people that have put all their time, their effort, their soul into this video game want you
Like
to
you
see
didn't just
what they've done.
like you didn't just have to fucking code in, like you didn't design a cutscene for it to just be skipped over.
That's exactly right.
Like if you didn't intend anyone to watch the cutscene, just don't fucking put your cutscenes in the game.
Oh, that's exactly right. Just no point. So I kind of agree with it, but then again, I don't.
Yeah, like
For the most part, I don't. Because
Yeah,
for
like, I
most
don't-
games, you can skip it.
yeah, but personally, I don't like when it is unskippable. I don't like it. Like Final Fantasy 14 has unskippable fucking cutscenes, and some of the cutscenes are like hour-long cutscenes.
Yeah. And the other thing...
And I shit you not, my friend sat AFK on his computer for an hour and a half while a cutscene went off, apparently.
And the one thing he brought up here was like when it comes to NPCs. Tune yourself out.
Yeah, just fucking ignore them.
Ignore them. Like, but again, as well, video games have a storyline fucking purpose, right? If you want to play a fucking video game just for video game's sake, without any storyline purposes or whatever the fuck, pick a game that does that. Simply fucking it. And number 10, repair mechanics, relationship maintenance of any kind, really. I have a problem here. A very, very, very big problem with this because, okay then, games, you know, again, for immersion purposes and all sorts of shit, right, what's the problem? What is the absolute problem in just not having this? What's the problem?
Like, I don't mind, like, again, I'm going to use World of Warcraft as an example here, because World of Warcraft is such a big game. It has really, like, it has every mechanic in the game, let's be real. Like, not every, but most. So, in World of Warcraft, you have to repair your weapons, or they stop working, or you lose the stats on them. Like, if your armor breaks, you lose all the stats on it, but you don't lose the armor. You used to lose the armor, I'm pretty sure, in Classic. If you're, like, in some games, if your weapon breaks, it's gone, so you have to manage that repair bar. And the reason they have repair mechanics like that is so you don't pick up, like, you don't discover an OP as fuck weapon early on, and then just use it to cheese through the rest of everything else throughout the entire game.
Yeah.
Because then, like, because typically weapons that are better, like, higher scale weapons, cost more to repair. Like, that, you'll find that in WoW. It costs me, like, 500 gold to repair one item, whereas it would cost me on a level 1 account, like, 2 copper to repair an item. So it's like, it's a mechanic to prevent people from picking up like a strong weapon early on and just cheesing. Because I played a mobile game that did that. I found a really strong weapon early on, and I smashed through the entire game in like 2 hours when it's meant to take you like 10.
And as well as too, again, in a lot of other games too that do have a repair mechanics system, right? Again, like your more survival games and survival type games or games that are in sort of like a post-apocalyptic setting or whatever.
Realistic that way.
It is very, very much realistic. And again, makes you more immersed into that fucking world. Yeah. It just does. As well as relationship maintenance, right? Again, in an RPG and stuff like that, you grow to love a character, you grow to, like... You can't just sit there and go, walk up to like a character and just not do anything at all to try and get into that character's pants that you really like, or just not in their pants in general, just make a better bond with that character, right? You can't just go up to them and go, hi, I want to be your friend. Okay.
Yeah.
Like, how does that doesn't make any sense. That mustn't feel realistic at all. It doesn't...
Yeah.
It's just, that's just shitty writing because you don't want to fucking actually make a proper character to fucking development.
Yeah, like like with WoW as well. Like there's not necessarily relationships, but there is like relationships with groups of clans, like people.
Yeah.
So like if like you can, for example, if you kill a certain amount of centaurs in like WoW Classic, they get angry with you and you go to war with them. With other, and like you can build your relationships with other clans, so they'll give you more shit and like cheaper like discounts and shit.
Yeah.
So like you need that stuff to make it easier. Like in order to achieve flying in Legion zones, you have to get I think it's like you have to get a certain type of honor with all of the Legion added clans, and then you can fly in their zones.
Yeah.
So like you need these to unlock extra mechanics.
Well, yeah.
So it's important.
It is extremely important. And the thing is that it just irritates the fuck out of me when I see this dickhead just sit there and say, "Oh, we don't need it." It's like, okay, right, I'll just go and play Mass Effect and then just go up to what was it, Ashley, and go, "Hey, wanna fuck?"
Just drop kick them in the face, and then they're like, "Oh, thank you, hero, thank you."
Yeah, that's right. Just go up to her and just go, "Hey, we'll bang, okay?"
Yeah, like Fallout has a relationship mechanics
And
too.
yes, that was stolen. I'm sorry, that was stolen.
Yeah.
If anyone has seen Mindslayer, fucking he's a fucking. But
yeah, Fallout has relationship mechanics too.
It's important for games like RPG and stuff like that need
like,
character development and
like
and
pick your own
MMOs.
story ones are very important.
Yeah, and same as MMOs as well. And it's just such an important mechanic because then it again makes you more immersed, makes you grow to enjoy the character's company, makes you enjoy to like the character, learn more about the character, and actually be able to realistically in a realistic setting have them as like a relationship, have a relationship with or whatever like that. Because you can't just go up to a woman and go, "Oh, you look sexy today," and then you're your girlfriend for like the entire game. Like it doesn't make any fucking sense.
Yeah,
like it just doesn't. So in a lot of ways, this is just stupid. Like the one thing I liked about Mass Effect, was it 2 or 3? I can't remember. Where it got to a point where you had to pick one or the other side, right? And if you picked one side, the other character would just instantly hate you for the rest of the game.
Yeah.
And if you didn't have your stats or anything like that up, right, to try and mediate and stick in the middle, right, it all goes to shit.
Mm-hmm.
So in the long run, it's good because again, it encourages replayability, it encourages world building, it encourages learning more about specific characters.
Another thing with relationship maintenance, Undertale, incredible replayability because you can change the course just by killing one character.
Yep, it's incredible.
Right. Yeah.
That's why I thoroughly enjoy this mechanic, and honestly, I genuinely don't agree with 99% of anything this guy.
Yeah. Like, if you want a game, like, looking at all these things, if you want a game that fits all of those categories, go play fucking Doom. The one from 1999. Just go fucking play that.
Yeah, go play that.
There is no unskippable dialogue, no cutscenes, no crafting, no end game that kicks you in the ass, no climbing, no mandatory mid-game tutorials because there isn't a tutorial. There's no mini games. There's no detective vision. There's no there's no audio logs, and there is no repair mechanics, and there's not even dialogue in the game. The only thing that it has is hidden rooms that you don't need to fucking find.
It's all good. I'll send this dickhead a copy of GoldenEye.
No, you gotta send him that one game. You gotta send him that game that McDonald's brought out in the 2000s about the like the wildlife. Do you remember that game?
I vaguely do, yeah.
Yeah, the wildlife. That was my jam.
Oh god, no, GoldenEye was my jam, man. That was my fucking jam. But like, just send him that. It's like, I don't want to play this. This has fucking Natalia Escort Missions in it. They're fucked. I'm like, yes.
Send him a fucking copy of Tetris. Tetris is like one of my favorite games anyway. I'd happily play Tetris. So,
but again, this just shows, right, that IGN staffers don't really know much about video games, and for the most part, don't really like video games, and they clearly are just paid to fucking do reviews. That's it.
Yeah, they're just paid to complain, basically. Like, they don't know anything about the game.
No, they don't. They have zero idea.
Like, you look at all the examples they used, they literally just used all the games, like, of this quote-unquote decade. They used games that came out, like, over the last 2.5 years. Like, they talked about Red Dead Redemption 2, Star Wars Jedi The Fallen Order, Deus Ex, Fallout's Fallout's the only, like, relevant example they kind of used, because Fallout 76 came out last year?
Last year.
Yeah, but, like, the rest are all pretty recent, except for, like, well, the newest Fallout was, let's be real, that was a fucking atrocious tragedy, but the other Fallouts they're probably talking about, not 76. Like, Horizon Zero Dawn, that came out recently, the newest Tomb Raider, that came out recently, Uncharted 4, that was a good couple of years ago, and Assassin's Creed had a recent one. So they've just used recent examples. They didn't use anything from 2010. Or like 2011.
Oh, they technically did when it came to them sort of jabbing at like Gears of War.
Yeah.
Like games like Gears of War or the Batman series, which used to do the same thing with the earpiece thing.
Yeah, but again, with Gears, I knew Gears came out this year. Last year.
This year.
Last year.
Oh, sorry, technically last year, yeah.
Gonna be doing that for a while.
Yeah, I'm gonna be doing that for the next month.
Yep. Alright. Moving on to the next news article.
Yeah,
we've bullied IGN enough.
Yeah,
even though this is
I'll put
IGN
one final thought, is that IGN, you know, if your company wants to be more respected and be...
hire actual gamers.
Yeah, like, if you want to be actually respected again, hire actual gamers. Don't force them to fucking review video games that they clearly don't want to play, clearly don't want to review, clearly have zero interest, and clearly have no idea about, especially with some games that they attack and stuff like that, and they clearly just hated the last game beforehand. They're like, oh, well, we got no one else to review the last game that has been playing it for a while in the studio. Let's just get this out. The same guy that did the last one that hated it and hasn't played it since. And as well as too, don't fucking take money from video game studios to give them good ratings.
Yeah.
And same as fucking movies. And get out of the political bullshit. Because you write articles like that, and it just makes you look stupid. It just does. And then you write fucking reviews for movies and other games and stuff, and you throw politics into it, and it doesn't fucking work. So IGN, like, yes, we use a lot of your articles to bounce off of when it comes to certain, like, topics and stuff like that, and certain events that have happened. Like, because again, we're a news fucking podcast. We talk about gaming news of the week. We talk about gaming in general. So in a lot of ways, it's just, we have to use IGN at least like a couple of times during the week. But when it comes to making articles like that, that's where we just sit there and just shake our heads and roll our eyes, because it's like, us as actual video gamers reading this, it makes us think that you don't play video games at all.
Like the only people like this sort of thing appeals to is people that are sheep and just agree with everything IGN says, people that don't play video games, and people that just don't know video games. And people that don't know what they're fucking on about. Like 12-year-olds that don't know what they're doing because all they play is Minecraft and Fortnite. And let's be real, Fortnite has none of these fucking things in it. Actually, I was gonna say it has crafting, but no one has building. So it's like people that don't fucking care, people that don't play games, or just people that will agree with IGN regardless of what they fucking shoot out their ass.
Yeah, pretty much. But anyway, after enough of that fucking bashing, let's move on to...
you can start this. I just gotta quickly go AFK because I think my dad wanted me. So
you're right.
You can start this article without me. I'll be back in a second.
Call of Duty Modern Warfare glitch lets players explore Battle Royale map. Now, I don't see the need or a battle royale map. Like battle royale at this point, it has sort of died. Like no one really wants to play battle royale games anymore now. Battle royale games, even when they came out, they were intending to be like the next sort of like Call of Duty style video game, or the next sort of like first person shooter style game, or stuff like that. Just something that you can turn your brain off, play with your friends for a couple of hours, and turn it off.
What, just shoot like Modern Warfare is just what, like brain dead shooting?
Yeah, pretty much, and it's just just what it was.
Yeah, because they're simplistic, straightforward shooting games.
Exactly.
And that's like, it's the purest form of video game entertainment. You can play for a couple hours. You have no strings attached. You can just play as much as you want to. Turn off your console, PC, whatever, and just go to sleep. You don't. There's no strings attached.
Exactly right.
Like, it's a simplistic shooting game, and like you don't have to pick up weapons. You don't have to look for things. You just make a class and shoot shit.
Mm-hmm. It's just simplistic and shit like that. And to be really honest, there's not many people playing these sort of games anymore. And I don't see the need for Call of Duty to do this anymore. No. There's just no need to make another Battle Royale game.
The Battle Royale category is so overused now, it hurts.
Well, yeah, it's people wanting to
get on that like sort of grind, because like they see it as any Battle Royale that came out in 2018, regardless of how dogshit it was, as long as you had the word Battle Royale in your title, people would play it for a month before realizing it was absolute shit, but you would still be able to charge people like $20 for it. And if there's like 1 million players playing, you got $20 million for a shit tier game that's not even finished.
Unless it was PUBG, because when PUBG first came out, that was fun.
Yeah, like I'm not saying all battle royales are absolute shit, but like as long as you had the word battle royale in your title, people would buy it regardless of price. Realize, and then they would go like, "Oh wait, this is shit. Stop playing it," or go, "Oh wait, this is really fun," and keep playing it. So the examples of that would be like PUBG, Fortnite. Even Apex Legends, really, although it did die very hard.
The only reason why that was popular is because streamers were actually paid to fucking play
it, yeah.
And they still are. Like, no streamer actually actively plays it because they like it.
Yeah. Like, even Ring of Elysium, when that came out, even though it was like free, so they didn't get to reap much money, people loved Ring of Elysium when it came out. Guess what? It's completely and utterly dead. I don't think anyone plays Ring of Elysium anymore.
No one does. And it's sad, because Ring of Elysium was actually not that bad.
It had so much potential to become a good battle royale, and then they fucked it.
You want to know why? It was because it was simple.
Yeah, like it was a simple game.
What PUBG used to be. It used to be simple, easy, it didn't need a lot of...
thinking. You pick up a gun, you pull the trigger.
That was exactly it. And that's what PUBG used to be like.
Yeah.
Now they've just made it... They've listened to all the pros, and they've brought out fucking shit maps. They've added way too much to the game now, to the point where it's just smothering.
Like, there is...
And it's still broken and a humongous hacker problem.
Yeah, like, they've made it so hackers are easily... Like, they've made it so that, like, there is now mainstream hacks of PUBG. So now there is a incredibly ridiculous hacker problem. There is way too many game mechanics. There are mechanics that people don't even fucking use, like the such that you can now throw meds to teammates if they request some. I have not seen a single player do that, ever. You can throw fucking painkillers to a teammate if they're 10 meters away. I have not seen a single person do that.
That'll be good for the pro scene. That won't be good for regular play.
You can also now throw melee weapons at people. I've only ever seen one person kill someone with a melee weapon that was thrown. The other times you're just playing dodgeball with teammates, or you're throwing them at car tires to piss them off. Because that's all I do with them. I throw my fucking weapons I throw them at tires, teammates, windows, whatever the fuck. I'd never throw it at an actual enemy player. Like, it's so useless.
Well, then again as well, like, I don't mind that mechanic.
It's fun, but it's just it's unused.
Well, it's a good mechanic in theory if it's if it's fluent and it's easy and quick.
Yeah. Like, it works well, but it's just like you don't get a chance to use it because like
No.
9 times out of 10, if you have a melee weapon and you need to throw it, chances are the other person has a gun and they're just gonna wipe you instantly.
Yeah, no, that's not even that's not worth it.
Like, melee weapons aren't really too useful in PUBG, because the only time a melee weapon's good is if you drop on a melee weapon and the other person dropped on nothing, or they dropped on a gun and didn't get time to load it.
Yeah.
Only time a melee weapon comes in use, because I've only ever killed one person with a melee weapon, and I've only ever been killed by a melee weapon once.
A lot of people that they say that if PUBG went back to what they were before Miramar, a lot of people would come back.
I would come back to PUBG. Like, I tried. I was on it for a while. I got to like level 60 on the battle pass, and then I stopped again. I just got so sick of it. I was just like, I don't want to play this anymore. Like, I played like 100 hours in a month and just went, nope, this isn't fun.
No, it isn't fun.
Like, I had, despite playing insanely high amounts of gameplay to the point that I was level 60 on the battle pass, and I still kind of sit here thinking, I should play PUBG so I can get higher on that battle pass. That's the only reason I was playing PUBG, just for that battle pass.
What PUBG needs to do? Right,
it was just empty, just nothing. It felt so sad playing it.
Rewind back to that point, right? Bring in a proper fucking anti-cheat. Ramp it up to fucking 1 million, right? I'm not saying that that's how it works, but you know what I mean? Have that fucking anti-cheat running at full fucking strength, right? And I guarantee you'll have so many more players come back. So many more.
Even then, though, PUBG still has a pretty strong player base. Like, to the point that I think a couple months ago, I think in November, it was the most played game on Steam. Like, active players, that is. Not like players that were on. Like, it had the most players at any given time.
Well, because CSGO's dead.
Yeah, exactly.
That's the only reason. But
yeah, well, most other online multiplayer games on Steam are pretty dead too.
Yeah, pretty much. But
how?
Yeah, like as I said, I don't see the need any more battle royale games. I think what we have now is fine. Like, well, maybe wait another fucking fight, then bring out another battle royale game. Like, just give it that break for a while.
I think people have gotten so sick of battle royales. It's such a burnt out concept that people don't want to play it anymore.
Yeah, don't get me wrong. I want to still play it. It's just no battle royale games really scratch that itch that the old PUBG used to.
Yeah, like there's just nothing that's like simply like all battle royales just too complex now.
And the one thing a lot of people said back when PUBG first came out, right, was that it scratched an itch that no one ever thought they had.
Yeah,
it scratched that itch, and it was fucking great. Now it's just PUBG's gone down the shitter because it's just dreadful. The developers have pretty much abandoned the fucking thing.
It's not the first time.
And
it's not the first time they've abandoned a concept.
No.
What the fuck was that?
It's gotten shit. But anyway, like Fortnite. Fortnite's going down now. It's not as big as it used to be. Apex Legends died on release. But Battlefield 5 Battle Royale is non-existent. Black Ops 4's Battle Royale is still surprisingly doing okay. So I don't really see a need for people to be excited for another Battle Royale anymore. So I think just leave it.
Yeah, like I don't see any reason to have any more Battle Royales. No. There's already too many to pick from.
Another thing in the news this last 2 weeks is that The Witcher 3 has had a massive resurgence since the Witcher 3 TV show, which is great to see because it is one amazing game that should be played by anybody that's like an RPG fan of any sort. If you're an RPG lover and you haven't played The Witcher 3, what are you doing with your life? Or just with the Witcher series in general, what are you doing with your life?
Yeah, like I haven't played a lot of Witcher 3. I've played maybe, I think, 2 hours of it. I recently reinstalled it because I was on that same train where everyone's like, I'm going to play Witcher again. I reinstalled it, haven't played it. However, I have finished Witcher 2. So I really, really, really liked Witcher 2.
Yeah, so did I.
But I
that
didn't...
was my introduction to the franchise.
Yeah, I just couldn't get into Witcher 3 as much as I got into Witcher 2. I think it's because I just didn't... I think it's because as I've gotten older, I haven't really felt a desire to play many story-based games. Like, I just... Like, I really liked The Witcher 2. I love the mechanics in Witcher, but I just couldn't get on board with playing like a single player story based game. I just don't find the appeal to those anymore.
That's where I will disagree with you with.
Well, I just don't like story games.
But
as an opinion,
I don't like playing The Witcher on a keyboard and mouse, which I know a lot of Witcher fans just sit there and go screech and go, "What?"
I don't like it either.
I prefer playing it on a controller. I just do.
It's such a pain in the ass to cycle your Witcher signs on PC.
Yeah.
I much prefer I much prefer casting Witcher signs on console. Like, it's so much easier.
It's so much more fluent. I like using controller playing The Witcher 3. But I have to play it on PC. I have to.
Wasn't the game on console originally? It got ported to PC a bit later.
The Witcher 2 was ported onto was PC and was ported to the Xbox 360.
Oh, I thought it was the other way around.
Ooh.
Well, I played it on the Xbox 360, and I really, really liked it.
And the third game was out for everything.
Oh, okay.
The first game is only on PC, which I kind of get because the mechanics are very, very shitty. But when it comes down, the combat mechanics are shit. But honestly, I think what they need to do, because they've now got the license to do more Witcher games, remake the first game.
Yeah.
Please, for the love of God, remake the first game.
Begging for a remaster.
No, not a remaster, a remake.
Yeah,
it needs a remake. Remake that first game. I think it would be fucking awesome. When it comes to, but it's good to see that the Witcher franchise has sort of made another big resurgence because the game deserves as much attention as possible. It is a phenomenal. And a lot of people have said, and I actually do 100% agree with people when they say this. The Witcher 3 is probably the biggest game of the last decade.
Yeah,
it just is, hands down.
Like, no other game had such hype, and like, especially since the fact that it's a single player game and still has this many people playing it.
I'll do one better.
Because single player story based games always lose their player base because people finish the game and stop playing it.
I'll do one better. Right? The Witcher 3 was the only game that had like a massive hype about it. Massive fucking a lot of fucking promises for launch. Launched at a massive sell. Right, so many people bought like it had a massive high numbers of sales, right? Lived up to those promises, lived up to the hype, and still got a 10 out of 10 from absolutely every critic on the face of the earth.
Yeah, and I think it also holds the record for the most game awards ever received.
Yes, and like people will say, "Oh, what about Skyrim?" Let's never fucking get into that argument, for the love of God, because I won't shut up. But yes, Skyrim was one of the most memorable and best games of the last decade. I will agree.
Only because it's moddable.
Yes, I have my massive problems with the Elder Scrolls franchise, which every time I even voice my problems and why I hate Oblivion, I get fucking I get death stared and told I should fucking die in a hole. Yeah, people don't like it when you trash Oblivion. They just don't. But
it's because but you look back at it, it's horror. Like, it's dreadful, but you can't.
It got 10 out of 10 because it was original. It had there was nothing repetitive and this and that, and I'm sitting there looking at it going,
yeah,
what, cunt?
It's not great, but it's not horrible. To me, it's just another Elder Scrolls game.
But for me, I just look at it and I go, how did it get good ratings back then? When you look at other games that came out back then, were much better, much more fucking advanced, much fucking, just everything was just like more. How do I put it? You still expected higher quality at the time.
Yeah,
but the only reason why I got higher ratings was because it was Elder Scrolls. That was simply it.
Pretty much.
When it comes down to, but yes, I will 100% agree. The Witcher 3 is the game of the decade. And it does deserve a lot of people's attention, and it does deserve a lot of love and support. Just does. CD Projekt Red outdid themselves with this.
Yeah, they always outdid themselves.
Oh, fuck yeah, they do. And the last thing of the week, this week, technically, seeing as we've been gone for nearly 3 weeks, Is Respawn boss takes over EA's DICE LA studio. Vince Zampella, co-founder of Apex Legends and Star Wars Fallen Jedi Order, Fallen Order, developer Respawn Entertainment will head up EA DICE's LA-based studio. The LA Times reports under Zampella's leadership, EA plans to expand the outfit and have its release an original game. Up until now, the LA-based DICE studio has primarily been responsible for providing support for DICE Stockholm, developer of the Battlefield franchise. Oh, fuck me. According to the LA Times profile, the office will remain separate from both Respawn and DICE Stockholm under Zampella's leadership, but will probably be rebranded to establish its own identity. We will probably rebrand, Zampella says. We want to give it a new image. We want people to say this is a destination you can go and make new content. I think they've kind of gotten the branding that they have. That they are the studio. Sorry. Yeah. I'm sorry, my fucking reading's gone to shit today. That they are the support studio for DICE Stockholm. I think rebranding is important for showing people, hey, come work here. We're going to do some amazing things. You work for EA? No, you won't.
Yeah.
Unless it's another Titanfall game, don't fucking call me. Look.
Yeah, well, I was going to say, but the thing is, though, he's not going to produce a Titanfall under DICE. He'll obviously try and do it under Respawn.
Well, yeah,
but I think
Respawn. Well, then again, Respawn's still a thing. The studio hasn't closed. It's just
EA owns them.
Well, yeah, it's just the boss of that studio has moved over to DICE.
Yeah. So
I still would expect and hope that the DICE LA studio, if he ends up being a part of it, he does end up like actually putting a hand in the next Battlefield game, because the last one. Well,
is that Battlefield 5 or Battlefield
5.
1? Oh, Battlefield the War 1.
No, it's Battlefield 5, the one where they just fucking. I won't get into that either, but I don't know. Hopefully, it's a good step forward. I hope, because EA and DICE and even Respawn haven't really had a great track record in the last 6 years.
No.
They've had a pretty fucking shitty and shocking track record.
Mm.
So I'm hoping and I'm praying that EA does something massive to try and do a big turnaround.
They're going to release they're going to release FIFA 25 in the year 2020. That's what they'll do.
Oh, please don't.
What about 2 FIFA games?
With a lot of fucking gambling mechanics that are apparently just surprise mechanics. Do you remember that?
Yep. No, I think
it's like buying a Kinder Surprise, man.
Yeah, I think what the fans want, though, is I think the fans really, really want 3 NBA games in 1 year. I think that's everything. I think that's what everyone wants from EA right now.
Those games only target fucking. I wouldn't even call them gamers. They don't target gamers. They target just
sports fans that are too lazy to play the sport.
Yeah, pretty much. It's not worth it.
I don't have anything wrong with sports games, but they just get repetitive.
Yeah, they do. And they're just the same fucking bullshit with fucking the same fucking microtransactions that must make.
Yeah, and the only reason they have to make a new one every year is because players change teams.
Yeah, pretty much.
There's no other reason they have to make a new one, which is why one of my old teachers, his rule of thumb was he bought every second FIFA game because otherwise they're too similar.
Or just don't buy them at all.
Yeah, well, he likes soccer a lot, so
even if you like soccer, I wouldn't even buy it.
Yeah, true.
I'd rather go out and play soccer. See, for me, when it comes to actual sports games, why would I go and play like an NRL fucking video game, or an AFL video game, or a cricket video game, or a NFL video game, or just any fucking sport in general, right? That's a video game, right? Why would I go and play that when I can just go and play the actual thing?
Yeah,
Which
but
is more entertaining. It gives you more.
But a sports fan like that would then counteract your like. I don't care what you play. I don't give two shits. Like I personally like sports, and I personally like sports in real life more than video games because it's immersive and not repetitive. But like,
and it's different.
A person that's a diehard FIFA fan would be like, well, if that's the case, why don't you go to war if you want to play Call of Duty? Because obviously that's a bit more of an unrealistic standard. But
yeah, that's an extremely unrealistic standard, and I'm going to point out why. Right.
Sure. It's not like I'm saying it.
No.
I don't care, honestly. Like,
no, I want to put in my thought process on that argument, right?
Yeah, go.
Going to war is something completely fucking different than playing sport.
Yeah.
Yeah, like going out and shooting an actual person, right, in real life that you are actually killing has a fucking massive mental effect on your brain. Right? In a video game, you're in a safe environment, you know it's fake, you know it's not real, you're just having a bit of fun. Right? When it comes to fucking sport, on the other hand, you are not hurting anybody in real life, not really anyway. You're not, it is...
Depends on the sport.
Depends on the sport too, yes. But what I mean is you're not 9 times out of 10 intentionally trying to hurt the person.
Yeah.
You know, when it comes to... And it's active, it's healthy for you. It's actually good for your body. You're not out there actually trying to fucking kill somebody.
Yeah,
like it's just like, people with that argument it just doesn't go anywhere. It just doesn't.
Yeah. Well, this because I'm not a big fan of the sport games. My friends play them, but I don't. I can see the appeal. It's one of those games that, like, again, no strings attached. You can just put it on and play it whenever you want. But there's just, to me, they just seem boring, but to my friends, they play them. One of them plays it for money. Like, he'll boost up a character to, like, the max level and then sell them. So, like, he does it to make money. Another friend
Which
does
is another
it whenever
big problem with the FIFA franchise, especially when they market it.
Yeah. But, like, he does NBA, though, so it's different. And no kid plays NBA games.
Oh, I don't know. I know quite a few kids that do.
All I ever see is the black people that break their controllers on Twitch.
Yeah, I've also seen a lot of kids that like they say, like, in game stores, like, I want this game, and their parents go and buy it for them, and I'm sitting there looking at them going, this is what happens when parents don't actually sit down and actually research the games they're buying their kids.
Yeah.
And that's what they need to do. Like honestly, I'm not trying to judge parenting and stuff like that, because, look, my son fucking plays and does things he shouldn't be fucking doing. He just does. But when it comes down to it, certain games that I won't let him play, right? I have I've done my research. I know about the game beforehand. I know what the themes are. I know what's in the video game. I won't let him play it if I don't feel like it's suitable for him. Right? Yeah. If he goes to a friend, well, you can't stop him if he goes to a friend's place. No, you can't. There's nothing you do about it. But you can try and control it in your own home.
Yeah.
That's the main thing.
Yeah. Well, I won't let my kids play any violent games until they're older. Like, but if it's an MA game and they're like 13, I'll consider it. But
well, see, my son recently played because I bought it for him because it has to have a bit of swearing, but it's nothing in your face. And it's not blood and gore. I got him Infamous Second Son.
Oh, okay. Oh, that's a fucking fantastic game. Fuck, I wish my parents gave me that game as a kid.
He played it and finished it pretty much all on his own.
It's a good game, though. Like, I love it.
I was proud of him. He's 6 years old and he finished it.
Damn, that's fucking impressive. It took my friend.
He did have a little bit of help in some areas, but for the most part, he finished it by himself, and I'm proud of him. But again, I'd done my research. Like, even though I didn't really need to do research, I already played it before.
Yeah.
But I've already, I know what to buy my kid. Because again, in some aspects, the grand theme of things, I've done the research. Before I let my kid buy it. I'll look at the rating. But again, as well. When it comes down to FIFA and stuff like that, it's just EA and 2K it's EA and 2K just grabbing money.
Yeah.
They're money hungry fucking pricks that just have no care in the world who plays it as long as they get money.
Yeah,
that's all they care about, and it just sucks. But look, back to finalise the last article. There's not really much to say apart from I'm just curious to see what they'll bring to the table when it comes to video games, what type of video games they'll bring out. But and it'll be interesting to see what they rename their company as. But that is our last article for the week. So, yes, this has been a pretty interesting sort of, not a lot of news this week, but it was a pretty interesting podcast this week. Yes. We will be back again next week. We're back now from our break for the new year. It has now also officially been over a year since the podcast started, so been awesome. I'd like to thank everybody that has stuck through, myself, Vesp, and, well, Funny Bunny's only just come in recently, but I'll put Funny Bunny in that too. Stuck with us for, that have watched us every week, and enjoy our content every week. Thank you. Even though a lot of you are silent, a lot of you don't really talk, but I see you all the time in the chats and stuff like that, watching every week. Thank you. As I said, for me, the podcast has always been intended just for fun. I don't care whether I make any money off it. I don't care if I don't care if it becomes a big thing. This is just something fun, and my friends that want to join. So it's just, for me, I like talking about video games and stuff that's been going on in video games throughout the week. And I thought, for me and my friends here, we like talking about video games all the time in depth, and we have fun doing it. And I thought, well, some of these discussions we have are probably good to record and let other people listen in and maybe have their own opinions on. So I want to thank everyone for that. It's been a great year. Well, I wouldn't say a great year for personal life reasons, but it's been a great year for fucking the podcasts. So, yes, and thank you again, Funny Bunny, for coming onto the podcast again. And I hope we get to see you a lot more, man, because this podcast has been pretty fun. And I've got to try and get Vesp on, and we'll get all three of us on and have a
big old party.
Yeah, big old sausage fest.
Yeah.
Yeah, just get some more people in, have some more opinions, and stuff like that. I think would be it'll be a lot more fun. So yes, all right then. That is it from us this week. I hope you guys have a fantastic week. If you live in Australia and live close to fires, please stay safe. Again, next podcast I will be putting in some donation links for people to donate to the Royal Fire Service here in Australia to give them support. They need it. And I want to also, before we go, thank the firefighters that have been doing an amazing job. And please, if you ever see a firefighter, please thank them. They deserve it. They deserve it. But anyway, guys, have a great week, and I'll see you all next week.
See you.